What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode with Lolos and more. Now today, I'm going to show you guys how to wire up everything and where the wire should go. I don't know if you guys listened in the past or even in the last video. I have mentioned you can come up with your own color code. You can come up with your own color code for anywhere from 2 to however many pumps as you want. Engine, just put them where you want to, because if you look up wiring diagrams on Lay It Low or Google or CCE or anywhere else where they might have not logos, but diagrams of wiring, they're not gonna make sense to you. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, when I first looked at it when I was younger, I was like, what in the hell is this? What am I supposed to do? So yeah, I got it down, but the thing is, for beginners, you don't need to follow that diagram. But if you did order a pre-wired switch panel or box, then you're gonna have to go with their color code. But if you don't know their color code, well, it's very easy. Just open the box or look at the back of your switch panel and look at the wires. If the upper wire is, say, blue, and your lower cable is black, well, then your black wire is your switch up wire, and your blue wire is your dump wire. That's the wire that you want to hook up to one of the two wires on the dump, and the other wire on the dump goes to ground. And then your black wire, which is your switch up, comes directly to the solenoids on the posts. As you guys can tell or see, these are single post Acumax solenoids. If you guys have the double post, then make sure that it goes on the S side. Let me see. Hold on, I got an example for you guys. Excuse the garage, it's still a mess. Haven't cleaned up, but let me show you guys what I mean. Here we go. Let's see. Do you see that S right there? This S is where you want to put your switch up wire, not on the I. You want to make sure it's on the S for the double post upper prongs. So that's what I mean. But these Acumaxes, I don't know when Acumax started making these, but if you look on their chart of products, it's under category Lowrider, which is cool. So yeah, you put your black wire to the posts, and then when you hit the switch up, opens up these solenoids and lets the power run through from the battery to the motor on the hydraulic pump. So, but let's get on started. So as you guys know, in the last video, the switch panel is already wired. I had to redo it when it was on the Cadillac that my homeboy had. So I rewired it. But I'm gonna change some things around. So ignore this right here. I'm gonna take the black wire off. Or I might not, actually. Well, yeah, I will. I think I will. So for now, I'm gonna set stuff in place, like for example the solenoids. As you can see, these are already in place, screwed down. I used self-tapping screws. Self-tapping screws have that tip right there. It's almost like a drill bit, almost. Self-tapping screw. But what I do, so it makes it easier, is I pre-drill the holes. So I pre-drilled that one. Let me drill one more out. And for the reason why they're not straight, it's because for some reason they're not sitting straight. I took them apart a few times. I tried to bend the brackets. No matter what I do, I can't get it to freaking sit straight. So Here, we're gonna pre-drill a hole right now. Okay, I drilled it. Now you do, when you're using self-tapping screws and you want to pre-drill a hole just so it's easier to screw them in, make sure your drill bit is smaller than your screw. Common sense, but some people don't get it. So now that they're in, there we go. Now that they're in, now that the holes are made, grab your screw, put it in your gun, or not gun, your impact or drill, whatever you have. Align it with the hole. And there you go. I wouldn't tighten it just yet. Just get it pre-started. Put the rest in, and then you can go back and tighten them all up. I like to do one at one end and then start at the other end as well. Just put them in a little bit. Just the tips. Haha. Joke. Yeah. So just put it a little. Okay. Now, let's see. And the holes on the solenoids, on the brackets, you got some room to work with, so you can move them around. So I'm gonna put them right there. That's it. They're in. Once the screws are cinched down, don't continue trying to make them even tighter. You will strip the hole. You will strip the hole that you just made. But yeah, that's it for those. Oh, and for these couplings, you can either use couplings, which you can get them at pretty much any hardware store. Just take the solenoid in with you just so you can get the right size. I do think they make them longer, but depends what hardware store you go to. But some people use, cable. It'll make it into a U, but these make it cleaner. That's my thing. So with those, make it cleaner. All right, what to do next? It's like there's a lot you can do, but what do you want to do next? So cables. This is the cable that came off of the old Cadillac. We're gonna use it now. Some people might ask, well, how can I set up my batteries? Well, I'll tell you this. For example, it's the same concept, but this is just a 4 battery setup. But this is what I'm gonna say. Your first battery will be the battery that you come off with the ground. So this one right here, this post, is a negative. This one, I'm gonna hook it up to ground. Is where you're gonna have your quick disconnect to, and then your positive would run over from that one same battery, from the first battery. The positive would run over to the negative post on the second battery. Same thing, positive to a negative, the positive to that negative, and that positive. Now, since it's a 4 battery setup, the front pump is going to have 4 batteries running to it. The rear pump is going to have only 2 batteries running to it. This one right here, the last battery, the 4th battery, as you guys know, when you connect them this way, you connect them in series. In series, you build up voltage. So it goes 12, 24, 36, 48 volts right here. From there, I'm gonna have a cable running down to this post right here, and then I'll put another wire just like this but longer, from that post to the front pump prong on it, on the motor. So of course I'm gonna have long pieces of cable just to make it look clean. I'm gonna have everything run from down here to up here and then back around and stuff like that. So it's gonna look pretty clean, you know, on top of the batteries. We're just gonna do it this way, save a little bit of money. Okay. Let's see what's next. But in reality, there's a lot you can do, but then what do you want to do first is the question. So I'm gonna come up with a quick game plan of what to do next, because I'm all over the place right now. I don't know what I want to do next. There's a lot of things I can do next for wiring purposes. So be right back. Okay. Okay, all I did was like three things, because I was trying to look for my wire strippers and it looks like I left them at home. So all I did, I know it's getting dark, but I hooked up a cable from one end of the solenoids to from the last battery, and then out from the solenoids I ran a cable for the motor for the rear pump. So that's what I did so far. And then I found a location where I'm going to wire the wiring block. This right here. For every lowrider you need this. It's like an extra protection, you can say, but it's like another way of easily disconnecting stuff. Your wiring really doesn't really help that much as a fuse, but it's there. But that's all I did so far. I mean, I went ahead and I ran the front hoses. I drilled the holes with the hole saw, just slightly smaller hole than what you would drill in the front for the cylinders to run through the frame. So I ran the hoses on both sides. As you can probably see, the hose right here and one down here, just hanging. Down the road, we'll probably get them shortened to fit perfectly in here. But yeah, that's it so far for day one of wiring. I'll make sure I bring my wire strippers on day 2. So we'll be right back. Okay, we are on day 2 of doing the wiring, electrical of the hydros. As you can see, I mounted the wiring block on the back of everything, so when people are looking at it from the outside on the back, they don't see this wiring block. As you can see, I have the wire tucked under still. It's a little exposed at the moment, just so I can run it, cut it to the size that I want it, and then put one of these eyelets on, rings or whatever. So it takes a little bit of practice to get it done right, to get these little suckers to stay on. I've been doing it for years, so I have my way of doing it. So I'll show you guys here in a second. I do recommend you guys use heat shrink. It kind of makes it look cleaner, and in a way it, you know, helps it stay in place if this wire ever wants to come loose from the terminal, from the ring. Some cheap stuff, I do recommend it from Harbor Freight. It's the marine stuff. When you heat it up, there's like glue inside of it, adhesive. It melts, and then when it dries up, it sticks it's real good. It's marine to keep water out when you're doing electrical stuff on like boats and stuff like that. But as you can see, I have my colors right here. This is my power. This is the cable that runs from switch to switch. But from here, I'm gonna run one cable out. It's gonna go to my second battery, because switches need 24 volts to run. So I'm gonna run one wire. There's gonna be a 25 amp fuse on that wire that runs away from here. It's gonna be hooked up over there to the second battery right here, because this is the first battery, that's the second battery. So 24 volts, and put it onto the positive terminal on that one to make your switches work. But make sure you do put a fuse on the inline, like a 25 amp. You should be good. I never had an issue or had a fuse blow out. Never have. So, and to put the fuse on, I'll show you guys later how I'm gonna do it on this one. But usually you can always buy a fuse holder. I don't know if I still have it. I don't have it around me, so I'll show you guys here in a second of a fuse holder. But to do it a bit cheaper way, but still very effective, put one of these on the cable and hook it up to the amp to the fuse. So let me show you guys a little trick on how to put these on. Let's see. As you can see, there's a little slit right there. You see that little slit in between the aluminum or copper, whatever, and the plastic sleeve? You see that little slit right there? Well, the metal inside, I see it as two flaps. When I'm crimping, I crimp down this flap, and then I crimp down this flap, overlapping each other, and to me that makes a good connection. So let me show you guys what I mean. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna run my wire. Right now I'm working on the front switch. As you can see how I have it red, purple, blue, white, and black. I just wrote it up here so I don't have to keep looking at the switches. Red, purple, blue, white, and black. So I'm working on the last switch, you can say. So now this is gonna look a lot cleaner when I'm done. So I'm gonna run this up. Come up here. I'm gonna put it right in front of the screw over. I'm gonna hook up the eyelet. So I ran it to there, running it behind the interior, tucked in there. So I'm gonna cut it right there. Okay, throw away the extra cable. Expose your cable. Not too much, about a 1/4 of an inch is fine. And then twist it once the cable exposed. Twist the cable. Oh man! Don't be tripping. Don't be tripping. So grab your little ring, put it on there. Make sure the wire comes through. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one flap on this ring first. Drop that flap down. I don't know if you guys can see. See how I dropped that one down? I'm gonna drop the other one. See how it's overlapping? Like a burrito. I'm hungry right now. I haven't eaten. And then crimp it down. If you crimp it too hard, then this terminal is pretty much, you probably broke it through. So to know if this is strong or if it's on there, give it a tug on the. If you feel just like a slight tick, then it's a loose connection. If not, if you don't feel even a slight tick, you're good. So we're gonna put heat shrink over it. just so we don't have to see that ugly crimp that we did. They all look ugly. So unfortunately, I forgot my heat gun. So to improvise, you guys can use a lighter. As you guys are doing it, turn it around. Keep turning the wire around so it doesn't catch on fire, because it will catch on fire. So this is how I used to do it before I had a heat gun. So now it shrunk and it's hugging the cable. So now hook it up to your wiring block. Okay. There we go. Now it's on there. So I'm gonna do the last wire right now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start running all of my wires. From here, I thought it was a good idea. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use just blue wire after this wiring block. I mean, if my homeboy ever needs help, he knows he has me. You know, the worst thing you can do is just, I mean, worst thing, but you know, the other thing you can do is just run and follow the wire. But I'm gonna go ahead, all the wires after this wiring block, especially the power, it's gonna be blue wire. I think it'll go nice with the black, because the car's also black interior and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'll be right back after that one, and then running all the wires pretty much. But after this part is pretty much easy. I mean, I guess you can kind of say I'm almost done. All I gotta do is run a ground cable from that battery, from the negative post all the way to the front, in front of the seat. You know, usually on how everybody else has it, they have the quick disconnect up back here, but for his situation, coming soon, it'll be a lot safer if he has a quick disconnect up front under the seat, out of the way from the seat rail so it doesn't get caught. So yeah, but after this, really, I'll show you guys real quick. I'll tell you guys. So red cable, which is my power for my switches, connected after the block. So let's say this line is my block, right? So right here, I'm gonna run another cable on the other side of the block. I'm gonna run it over neatly, tuck it over to my second battery, which will be my 24-volt battery in series. This wire, I'm going to run it over to my rear pump, to my right rear dump. Just run it nice and neatly. This wire is going to go to my solenoids, to the rear pump bank. This one would run over to the other dump, to the rear pump. So you guys can see, is my left dump, and this is my right dump. But we're not doing a 3-pump setup, so you guys can ignore the black. And in my front, go to the front dump, and then that goes, the brown wire is gonna run over to my solenoids on the switch up, on those upper terminals up there, those prongs. That's where I'm gonna hook that up. So we'll be right back after I run the wires out and about. It's gonna be a lot of excess wire, because I don't have the pumps in yet. So there'll be a lot of excess wire, and then I'll cut them down when I put the pumps in. So that way it makes it look nice and clean once I'm done putting the pumps in. So be right back. Okay, so we're back. I went ahead, ran all the blue wires out. I didn't really run them yet. I went ahead and wired in the solenoids. I jumped them. You'll see here in a sec. This wire right here is for my front pump. Oh, not mine, but it's for the front pump dump, which is gonna sit right here. The front pump is gonna sit right here. So this is why this wire is just hanging there. It is gonna get short. It's just long, just because I have a crap ton of the blue wire. So that's how the wire block right now looks. I'm gonna clean this up here later, probably tomorrow or the next day. Same with this, make it look cleaner, coming down together. I don't know if you guys have seen server rooms. That's the look I'm going for. How they have old cables running together, looking really nice. So here, let me show you guys the solenoids. See how I jumped them? I went ahead and connected the front and the back. So I'm gonna get on out of here, out of the car, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do the fuse without the fuse holder. Be right back. Okay. So I got my power wire right here, just running, you know, kind of crappy looking right now, but it will be nice and clean and tucked when I'm done. So here's my power for the switches, the 24-volt wire, which I'm gonna hook up to this terminal right here where this cable is, right here. That's the 24-volt positive terminal. And what I was talking about earlier, here's a fuse holder. I'm not gonna use a fuse holder. We're gonna do it this way. We're gonna use these clips right here. The metal won't be exposed, so don't worry about that. The way I'm doing it, I'm gonna cover it with heat shrink. So let me show you guys what I'm gonna do. I am gonna put one of these at the end of the cable so it hooks up to the battery terminal. So let's get to it. So once again, strip your wire. Then crimp it. Give it a nice tug. If you don't feel a little slight tick, then you're good. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this one already has like heat shrink attached to it. I never used a lighter to it before. Let's see how it works. Works good. Kind of makes it black, but whatever. It still looks pretty good. So there we go. Now I want the fuse to be somewhere in this area, not so visible up here, but I want it visible like about right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the cable right here. There we go. Cut the cable. Now we're gonna add the little connectors. Crimp them on. Tug. Slight tick on that one. There we go. Tick one away. No tick. Now, what I meant about this part not being exposed and potentially touching the rack and having a short, what I'm gonna do with this heat shrink right here is gonna cover it up. So, and the thing that we don't want it to be exposed, not even a bit. So we're gonna shove that up a little. Need to show the heat shrink. It's still in there, just about right there, and then heat it up. There we go. Same thing for the other side of the cable. Okay, now we're good there. So I'll take the fuse out of this. The fuse up in here. Still hot. There we go. Come on in. Make sure it goes into the connector, not between the shrink and the connector. But there we go. You got yourself a homemade fuse holder. That's it. A lot of people do it this way anyways, without the other way. The reason why people prefer it this way than using the fuse holders is because the cable, they don't always find the right color cable that they want to use on their existing power cord that they have. So yeah, so this will be right up here to connect to the battery cable, to the battery positive terminal on the 24 volt, and it'll be ran cleaner than it is right now. So getting dark. I don't have any good lighting to put up, so this is the end for day 2 on wiring. So all that I have left to do really is make a cable to go from this terminal to the negative terminal on the other side to connect both banks of the batteries. So it goes from 12, 24, 36, 48 volt battery for the front pump. So that's all we gotta make, just that to that. It'll be like a long cord. It'll run down here. Same thing. Make it look nice and clean. And these dump cables that I have just laying here, I'm just gonna run them in there real quick, and they're just gonna sit around until the pumps are in, so I can wire them to the dumps. And then another cable to make. I need to make the ground cable that goes from here, from that terminal right there, to go all the way to the front seat of the driver's side. So yeah, we'll be right back on day number 3. Okay, day 3, I guess. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because I can't really finish doing the wiring until the pumps are put together, and I kind of hate editing. So next video you guys are gonna see is me doing the plumbing, redoing the pumps, because these pumps I'm putting in here, in the last car that they were in, they were leaking, so I'm gonna rebuild them, pretty much Teflon tape them so they come out nice, and hopefully they don't leak in this one. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'll show you guys in the next video. I'll definitely show you guys me wiring these up, these two little wires over here to the side, to the dumps, and one other wire that I have hanging over there by the wheel well to that dump, because this is where I'm going to put the front pump, and that's where I'm going to put the rear pump. So yeah. Oh, and for those guys trying crimping for the first time, there is one simple tool, a cheap tool that you can buy. Hopefully you guys have heard of Harbor Freight. I mean, working on lowriders or cars in general, this is a good tool to have. And it's like $5 or $8 or $10 with the coupon that they hand out in the mail. It works just great. So there's this little feature right here, the arrow and the plus sign. I don't know what it means, don't ask me. But if you want to test your crimps, if they work properly, if they're gonna pass current, that's the setting you want it to be. And here, I'll show you guys real quick. Let's see. We'll test this bank first. So, as you see, it's at a 1 right now. See what happens when we put these together. It'll probably go to a 0. Or not. Okay, so it'll either stay at 1 or go to 0 sometimes. So yeah, so these two leads, you can put them on any wire that you want first. So right now we'll test from one side to the very last side. It doesn't matter what side goes on which these prongs. You're just testing if current goes through the wires. So let's see, that one's supposed to go away. There we go. Test the one in the middle. There we go. So now that's what you guys want to see. You guys want to see that right there. If you guys see the 001, then current is going through the wires, and you can test all of your crimps. Here we can even test this side too. Whoa. And again, it doesn't matter where you put the prongs. 0, there's current. So that's when you know you did your crimping right, where wire is properly in there, you can say. So that's it for this video for the wiring. You know, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I think in one video I will do like a big drawing of how the wiring goes, like a really big drawing, and then I'll have different colors so you guys know what wire goes to what exactly, because I know right now it looks like a cluster, but it'll be all tucked away and looking clean. So, but yeah, if you guys liked this video, if you guys thought it was helpful, if you guys think I missed something, let me know. But this is where I'm gonna stop after this part, because I want to get to the pumps. I want to put the pumps in a day or two after this video drops, so coming Saturday I can do the bridge and hand the car over to my homie. I know he'll be happy to see his car, especially on switches, so because he really loves it. But yeah, Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright? Peace.